It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all.
We are going to have an opportunity of hearing a number of testimonies from those individuals that encountered Barbara in her work as a freedom fighter. Being a liberal, obviously there will be moments that we will talk about her work, and we are also very happy that most of the partners that are here benefited a lot, and the Embassy of Germany is also represented. So we are going to have an opportunity to get some comments from them, because we are talking about Barbara, who was the liberal stalwart dedicated to fighting for justice. Now, Barbara was a lady with a large heart, a razor-sharp mind, and exceptional professional expertise. Few people combine all these qualities, and Barbara was one of them. If you worked with Barbara, she was a stickler to details. Each and every moment of her work was punctuated by exact correctness. On Friday, 19 April 2024, in her adopted home of South Africa, Barbara lost her battle with cancer at the age of 61. Now, Barbara was unique in the sense that she had this amazing encyclopedic knowledge of global affairs. There was nothing you could ask Barbara that she had not heard of. But she was primarily characterized by her deep humanity and astute judgment. She was quick-witted, and she could sometimes be a polarizing force, which is typically German, if I should say. Now, Barbara always had an eye for what ultimately mattered and expected total commitment from her teams. Now, having grown up in an idyllic van in Germany, Barbara was driven to South Africa by her liberal sense of freedom and independence. There she studied politics, a BA in law and development management, obviously a master's. And Barbara then loved South Africa so much and its people. She initially worked as a lawyer in Namibia, and of course South Africa, before joining the Frederick Naumann Foundation as project director for South Africa and Zimbabwe on February 14, 1995. Now that was from 2005 to 2017. She also spearheaded the foundation's work in Tanzania and Kenya. Now it was Barbara's vocation to work with political parties and strategy workshops and training sessions for elected officials who benefited from a consummate leadership. I remember Barbara, I was so committed to the PowerPoint. I found the PowerPoint so exciting. And she would say to me, Reduce, why do you like this PowerPoint? You know, it's it distracts you from real things, you know. And it was like, okay, I thought it was the in thing. But you can see even those things that we considered very revolutionary by nature, Barbara would want to forge ahead with a different approach. Now, as a trained lawyer, Barbara followed the human rights and rule of law issues very, very closely. Over 2.5 years, she provided comment and analysis for the Fred Naumann Foundation on the Zimbabwean show trial of internationally renowned writer and filmmaker Tsitsi Dangarembga. This involved numerous brilliant interviews in international media. Unfortunately, Tsitsi couldn't be here. She had a previous engagement. Barbara was unrivaled in her ability as an expert to present complex political, social, and economic issues, and clearly and succinctly. You know, the German political system is very complicated. Every time I had the privilege of going to Gummersberg in Germany, and would take trips around Germany, and I would say, how do you maneuver all through this political complexity in Germany? She would just unpack each and everything. And, you know, with a few F words here and there, one would manage to eventually understand the German political system. And she was that type of person. If she didn't like you, she didn't pretend she liked you. So it made it easier for her to deal with people. Unlike some people, especially in African culture, you don't exactly show somebody you don't like them. You wade around, you know, but eventually you say a lot about them in their absence. It's much better. Now, now Barbara was, above all, FNF colleagues will remember Barbara for her empathy and loyalty. She had a boundless capacity for compassion, and advancement of talented women was a major concern for her. A down-to-earth, no-nonsense manner and a strong sense of justice characterized her both professionally and personally. In other words, every time there was something to do that involved women, and there was a man who was going to, she would ask, haven't you found a suitable woman to do it? So if you happen to do something that was supposed to be done by a woman, you had to be able to prove that you are good at it. Otherwise, you just say, Fungi Cleo, can you get so and so to come and do this thing? Which was understandable. Now, above all, the Fred Naumann Foundation for Freedom today has lost one of its most distinguished and committed staff members. And the loss is tectonic, it's impactful, and we are going to, as a family here at Fred Naumann Foundation, it will take a couple of years before we can fully accept the loss that we have had at the foundation. But we have got to move on, and it's important that we follow her footsteps. Our thoughts are with her family as we mourn her loss. Barbara Groeblinghoff will not be forgotten. Thank you very much.
The German embassy was shocked and sad to hear of the demise of Miss Barbara Groeblinghoff. Her passing on was untimely and too soon. The German embassy would like to extend its sincerest condolences to her family and friends, as well as her colleagues at the Friedrich Naumann Foundation. What a big loss we all had to endure. The ambassador and his deputy, both in absentia, have been repeated guests here at the foundation, and they send their regrets for not being able to be here today. The ambassador is out of the country, and Mr. Ott has to undergo medical treatment, which unfortunately could not be postponed. Political foundations all around the world are important partners for German embassies, and Ms. Groeblinghoff was an exemplary personality who effortlessly nurtured this relationship and partnership. Since becoming the Friedrich Naumann Foundation's country director of South Africa and Zimbabwe in 1995, her tremendous efforts to inspire, support, advise and train numerous civil society organizations and individuals in both countries have been a great success. Her fight for the objectives of human rights, free speech, the right for political participation and freedom, gender equality and inclusion were outstanding and admirable. For the German embassy, she was an important intermediator. Her immediate grasp of political developments and her brilliant analysis were important contributions for our work. She had a wonderful sense of humor, always paired with a heartfelt and deep humanitarian approach, which always made it interesting and worthwhile to engage in conversations with her. She advised us, broadened our understanding, and helped us in so many ways that we do not even have enough words to describe. One outstanding example I would like to mention is the strong personal and organizational support she gave to Tsitsi Dangarembga. Ms. Groeblinghoff mobilized national and international attention in fighting against the unjust accusations raised against Ms. Dangarembga. Always a stalwart and reliable friend who has gained our deepest respect and gratitude. Her family and friends, the Naumann Foundation, the German embassy in Harare and Germany have lost an extraordinary person. As I already said, she left this world much too early, and we can only hope that her legacy and all that she did in the short time that we had with her lives on. Thank you.
A pleasant afternoon to you all. Apologies from Valerie Jouia, our executive director. She would have wanted to be here herself, but I am kind of glad that she's not. I met this wonderful lady just once. But she made so much impact on me, and I feel greatly honored to be here just to share a few words that the team has sent me to share with you. Believe me, this is not my effort. It's concerted effort because everybody just said, you got to say something, that covers me. I'm not there, but I need you to say something that covers me. So as the LRF, we bid farewell to a remarkable individual, Barbara, whose passing has left a void in our hearts and in the field of human rights advocacy. The FNF, where Barbara worked, has been an all-weather friend to the LRF, supporting its strategic work over the years. This includes institutional support for key issues, such as setting up of systems, strategic planning, and capacity building. It is through these interventions we met Barbara, who we learned was not only a committed champion of human rights, but that she also possessed an unparalleled passion for law, politics, and the pursuit of justice. Barbara shared many insights with the LRF, which helped us shape, reshape, and shape and sharpen our work. I remember the meeting where I was, and like I indicated, I just met her once. She challenged so many things that we were doing. We thought we were doing good until she started pouring in the questions. Then we really had to sit down and interrogate our strategies. And that really helped us. And I believe we are all better now because of that intervention. We, of course, benefited a lot from her expertise and her dedication to the LRF. We like to think she loved us most, but I know other partners will argue otherwise. And her unwavering support for the organization will be remembered forever. I think local partners can testify with me that when a funding partner is coming to your office, it's not a usual day. It's not like one of your ordinary days, you really go out of your way to prepare and just make sure everything is okay. Because definitely we know that they are here for business and they are not playing. So what surprised me most about Barbara is that when we got into the meeting, she was so relaxed. She made us feel welcome. Well, we had the meeting at our office, but it now felt like it was the office because she was now busy just trying to make us feel comfortable and be okay to have the critical discussions we were supposed to have. So to us, from that time, we noted that she was a very warm and cheerful personality. And from there, our engagements with her were just awesome. And we also, she was an open person. She would talk a lot about other things that she was passionate about. I don't know if some of you know that she was equally passionate about children's rights, about just like any other work, particularly those with special needs and learning difficulties. Our former director, Lucia Masukazani, and the current director, Valerie, shared extensively around how she just shared information to do with children with learning disabilities and how best mothers can assist their own children should they have such challenges. That really speaks a lot to her warmness. So as the LRF, as we bid farewell to Barbara, we remember her not only for her professional accomplishments, but also for the kindness and compassion she displayed. In closing, the LRF will honor Barbara's memory by continuing the work she was so passionate about. I will say in Shona, amai ticharamba tichienderera mberi nebasa ramakatisira. That is to say, Mom or Mother, we're going to continue with the work that you left for us, and we'll continue to do it well. We will continue to strive upon the principles of human rights and justice that she held dear. And we say, Barbara, you'll be deeply missed, but your legacy will forever guide us. Thank you for your profound contributions, your unwavering support, and the love and kindness you showed the LRF. May you rest in peace, knowing that your impact on this world will continue to resonate for generations to come through the LRF. Thank you very much.
I first met Barbara in 2021, some months after my good friend Siti Dangarembaga and I had been arrested for carrying posters in a peaceful two-woman protest in Harare. It really was peaceful. Over the next 2.5 years, Siti and I were subjected to over 35 court appearances before our conviction was finally overturned in the High Court. It was a very long, stressful, and unpleasant process, as you can imagine. But one of the things that kept us going was the support, not only of family and friends, but of people like Fungisai and Frederick Naumann family, and also Barbara. She must have been immensely busy, but she always made time to try and show solidarity with us at court. She was such a stalwart. She would stick it out with us in court, however long it took, and sometimes it took hours and hours and hours. And she never complained, and she always had a smile on her face. She was just fantastic. Sometimes we would wait. In fact, the one time we waited nearly 6.5 hours, only to be told to come back the next day. The very next day, Barbara was there with us, smiling and joking and being her wonderful self. She was one of the most interesting people I've met. She was utterly fascinating to talk to, as you would all know. I mean, her knowledge of all things was absolutely incredible. She also had a wonderful, cheeky sense of humor. And I'm pretty sure that she's up there right now with a comment or two at us now today and laughing along with us at the memories that we're sharing of her. Most of all, she was the kindest and most compassionate person. She kept in constant contact after our conviction. She was always messaging and saying, how are you? How are you doing? Are you okay? And sometimes she would share a picture of her. She said, I'm cuddling with my dogs, and I'd send her a picture and say, I'm cuddling with my cat, and we would have a good laugh about the two of us. She truly was an amazing person. And I think that you'll all agree that the world is a much poorer place without Barbara in it. She truly was an amazing, unique person. To Fungisai and all the staff at Frederick Naumann in Zimbabwe and beyond, and to Barry and the sons, I'm so very, very sorry for your loss. But I do really hope that the memories that we're sharing and the tributes that we're sharing about Barbara today will help heal you in some way. Thank you.
Today, as we gather to commemorate the life and legacy of the remarkable Barbara, I stand before you with great humility and a very proud sense of gratitude. Barbara was not only a fighter for freedom, she was a beacon of hope, an embodiment of strength, and a true feminist warrior. In Shona Tinotugaranaka Kona Dzevamwe. And as a feminist sister, I'm so glad to be here, just celebrating her life. Barbara's voice echoed through the corridors of power, challenging the status quo, as we've heard many people say here. She didn't take things at face value, and she was always demanding justice for everybody. She fearlessly spoke up for the marginalized and the voiceless, which are mostly the women, and obviously the oppressed, empowering them to find their own voices and to soar beyond the constraints of societal norms. When I walked in, Fungi says, Saka mauya makafika black makaminura. And I got, yes, this is Barbara. We've got to defy the norms because that's the kind of life that Barbara lived and wanted us to live. Barbara's tireless efforts over the past 3 decades have brought about tangible change. We've had speaker after speaker talking about what she did to make a difference. And she also brought about the breaking of the chains of inequality and discrimination. Her unwavering dedication and unwavering spirit have shown us that true transformation is within our reach. And when we dare to dream and take action, we can cause a ripple effect in life. Barbara confronted the challenges head-on, unafraid to tackle the difficult issues that plagued our society. She was a catalyst for change, unyielding in a pursuit for justice and equality. Her legacy serves as a reminder that we must never, ever shy away from the uncomfortable truths, but face them with courage and determination. As we reflect on Barbara's life today, let us remember her as a trailblazer, a warrior for social justice, and an unwavering advocate for gender equality. Let us draw our inspiration from her unwavering spirit and use it as fuel to continue the fight for freedom, justice, and dignity for all. In conclusion, let us honor Barbara by embracing her vision and carrying her torch forward. Let us pledge to continue the work that she started, to amplify the voices of everybody, and to build a society where equality and justice prevail for us all. Thank you so much for being here, and may Barbara's spirit guide us in our collective journey towards a better and more equitable world. May her dear departed soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, and friends of Frederick Newman Foundation. Today we gather here not just as colleagues, but as a community united in grief and remembrance to pay tribute to a person who was an integral part of our professional lives and personal lives, and a cherished friend, Barbara Groeblinghoff. As I stand before you, I am filled with a profound sense of loss, but also with a deep appreciation for the time we were privileged to share with Barbara. I hope to honor Barbara's memory, celebrate her life, and share with you the impact she had with us at the VMCZ. I have known Barbara since the VMCZ entered into a support partnership with FNF in early 2016, 8 solid years of partnership. From that very first day in June 2016, we have shared a wonderful and an unimaginable friendship with Barbara, and the relationship with VMCZ has brought with it sustainable growth and support to the organization's mandate. Barbara was a very straightforward person who stood for what she believed in and had a serious passion for defending freedoms. Her passion for social justice was evident in everything she did. To her, fighting for rights and justice for those around her was not only just fulfilling a job, she was fulfilling a calling. purpose that drove her to excel and to inspire those around her. I remember a particular moment in time when we had put our ideas on paper and spent hours in the office preparing on how we would spend hours and hours persuading Barbara and Fungisai to buy into our ideas. And thinking we would spend the whole day persuading the pair on the importance of our project. We did not take long. Once ideas were put across, there were no cross-examinations and long questions. She had grasped the concept, and in one go, she had approved our proposal. In Barbara, we had someone who had a broad understanding and appreciation of global issues across the freedom spectrum, and engaging her on any freedom of expression issue was a breath of fresh air, as those issues were close to her heart. Barbara was committed to excellence. In Barbara, we did not only have a development partner for our work projects, but a mentor, a motivator, and our benchmark for doing well. Apart from her professional prowess, Barbara was a positive person, had a high sense of humor, compassionate, and easily connected with people, especially when it came to understanding their needs. Barbara's main attribute that I noted when working with her was her ability to bring out the best in others and in the organizations she worked with. Barbara leaves behind a legacy that cannot be forgotten, and her death is a stark reminder of how fragile life is. Death challenges us to find meaning in our grief and to seek comfort in the memories we share with others. Barbara's death leaves a void that cannot be filled, yet her life and her works are a legacy that cannot be forgotten. May her family, friends, and colleagues find solace from her inspiration, commitment to defending freedoms, and her defense of the right of others. May her soul rest in eternal peace. I thank you.
I really have to say that today I'm truly sad. When I was sitting in my chambers, I wanted to sit down, put a few ideas together about what I'd say, but I was out of words. And anybody who knows me knows that I'm seldom out of words. One of the biggest things that Barbara and I had in common is a joint passion for both law and politics and political affairs. Sometimes lawyers are too cool for politics and they're like, we'll just do the legal stuff. It's rare when lawyers really transcend into that other sphere. She did it so beautifully, so elegantly, and so diplomatically. And as her professional history says, she's been passionate about these things for a very long time. And three things really come to mind when I think of Barbara. The first thing is how fearless she was. I remember the last dinner I attended where she was there. There was a man who was talking utter rubbish. And Barbara was very quick to say, "Excuse you, you are very wrong about that." And she just was unafraid to speak truth to power. It did not matter how senior the person was. It didn't matter, what the occasion was, but she was very, able to put people in their place. The second thing is that she was a listener. Even though she had all this encyclopedic knowledge, she was keen to listen to and understand what exactly it was that's going on. As a politician, often people come from civic society, from this place, from that place, and prescribe. They're like, why don't you just do this? Just, without really understanding the complexity. But what I liked about Barbara is that she took time to listen, to understand, and to be like, okay, to empathize and say, okay, there's XYZ complexity to add to the issue. And I appreciated that about her. Finally, nuance. She was so nuanced in her perspectives. She didn't just take the typical line that every single other, call it civic society, call it diplomat, was taking. She thought, she asked questions, she probed, she formulated her own view. And for that, I'll be so, so grateful. And in closing, I remember the day It was a Sunday that I got a message from Fungisai, and she's like, Barbara's gone. I was like, what are you saying? I sat down because the last time I'd seen her, she was so healthy, so vibrant, so joyful. So I really want to say to FNF, I don't think we thank you enough for the role you're playing. Freedom for the typical Zimbabwean is not just like a thing in a book. It's a matter of, life and death, freedom, liberty. So thank you so much for the work you do, and sincere condolences to Barbara's family, to the foundation, and her shoes are too big to fill, but hopefully, you'll find someone else who's not a replacement, because I don't think Barbara can be replaced, but someone who will have just as much passion and competence to take her great legacy forward. Thank you.
I met Barbara twice. I had lunch with her. I remember that time I'd been facing a lot of cyberbullying when I met her, and she was very supportive. And the other time we were having a training, Barbara had such a sense of humor. You spoke about the F word. She just made you feel so relaxed because some of us were meeting her for the first time. So she just made it so much easier. So in commemorating Barbara's legacy, it's essential to highlight the profound impact she had on initiatives like the Women Mentorship Program. As one of the mentors, my other mentors are here. We have got Annie, Vicky, Grace, and Martha Mamombe. I think she's watching online. I have witnessed firsthand how Barbara's vision, dedication, and leadership have transformed the landscape for young female journalists in Zimbabwe. Under Barbara's guidance, working with Fungisai, Cleo, and the team in Harare, the mentorship program blossomed into a beacon of empowerment, nurturing the talents of over 350 young female journalists. Through mentorship, training, and networking opportunities, Barbara helped cultivate a generation of empowered, skilled, and confident women in journalism. One of the program's greatest strengths lies in its ability to bridge the gap between experienced female editors and the aspiring journalists of tomorrow. Barbara understood the importance of creating a supportive environment where seasoned professionals could share their wisdom, experiences, and insights with the next generation. By fostering this exchange, she not only empowered young journalists, but also facilitated the preservation and passing on of invaluable knowledge and expertise. Beyond the tangible skills imparted, the mentorship program served as a catalyst for inspiration and motivation. Barbara's unwavering commitment to gender equality and empowerment resonated deeply with all who participated in the program. Her belief in the potential of every young woman to make a difference in journalism fueled a sense of purpose and determination among participants, driving them to strive for excellence and break barriers in a traditionally male-dominated field. As we reflect on Barbara's remarkable contribution, let us carry forward her legacy by continuing to champion the cause of women in journalism. Let us honor her memory by redoubling our efforts to create inclusive, supportive, and equitable spaces where women can thrive and succeed. Barbara may no longer be with us, but her spirit lives on in the countless lives she touched and the enduring impact of the programs like the Women Mentorship Initiative. When I was bullied, which I spoke about earlier, she was one of the first to offer support. After speaking with Fungisai, I am forever grateful for the support. Go well, Barbara. May your soul rest in peace. On behalf of the mentors, I would like to express our deepest condolences to Barbara's family, the FNF family in Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Tanzania. Thank you so much.
I became part of the Frederick Newman Foundation through the partnership that they had with the Voluntary Media Council of Zimbabwe. And we were talking especially about fake news. And, and this is the first time I had an encounter with Fungisai. And we had an amazing chat with Fungisai, which then later developed to this amazing relationship that we have as Art and Soul TV and radio, Frederick Newman Foundation, Free Talk, and Dara B. Yeah, it was such an amazing relationship that focused on people's freedom to have conversation. Zimbabweans being able to talk to each other, to find solutions to their own problems without external influence. Now, in an environment where the economy is very tough and hard, most people in Zimbabwe, especially business community, they are so afraid to partner outspoken programming. This is not the same with the Frederick Newman Foundation. And when I had a meeting with Barbara and Fungisai, we were sitting just down there under that tree, and we were having a conversation about free talk. So when I was invited by Fungisai, I thought, okay, so now I'm going to meet the boss lady, and it's going to be really, really grilling, But then when we sat there, I actually forgot that we were having a meeting, because she was talking about ideas. She was just having a conversation. And the moment I left, I just realized we were having a brainstorming session. I didn't realize it then when we were having it, and it actually improved the quality of Free Talk. I think those who watched the first episode of the Free Talk and who are watching it now will tell you the amazing transformation that this program has had and has gone through. And the first few months, we used to have one month contracts with the Frederick Newman Foundation, and now we have a whole year contract, because now there's trust and confidence in the program and what it seeks to do. But Barbara was such an amazing spirit. I spent some 3 days with her in South Africa just before the last South African elections, when we went to the last DA rally, and she was managing the group and everything, with Fungisai around. The way she met people and had conversation, I would just watch her at the DA rally, the way she was just, she was just gliding through. And I looked at her and I said, this is an amazing woman of power. Now, the most thing that I liked about Barbara is that she did not take being a woman as a privilege. She moved in, she asserted herself, and she made people feel her. In a way that touched and changed lives in a very, very soft. She wasn't hard, but you'd feel that the presence there. She was not that person who'd come like me. I would come with a different face and look at you, and then you'd feel I'm serious. No, she would make you feel it in a soft way, in a soft touch, and I enjoyed that. But as Free Talk grows, I think we are one of the biggest socio-political shows in this country. And we have grown from a viewership of 0 to over 3 million right now in the past 2 years that we have been running this program once every week. And this is just so powerful a legacy that that Barbara leaves. But it's difficult to just mention Free Talk and say Barbara, because today we are celebrating the life of Barbara. But the immense work that Fungisai has been doing behind the scene must be appreciated even at this point. We are not celebrating your life, Fungisai, yet, because you are here, but we appreciate the work that you do. And the tag team that you have been doing with, the two of you were just so amazing. So we thank you so much for this work that you continue to do. And we say, even if Barbara is not there, please don't tire, keep doing it. Barbara, rest easy, knowing that your work has some capable hands that are pushing it through. The Frederick Newman Foundation, we join you as you mourn the loss of a dear comrade, dear departed. We love you, Barbara.
Good afternoon, everybody. My deepest sympathy to Barry, Josephs, and Samuel, and to all who knew and loved Barbara. Her passing has left a gap that cannot be filled. The word meliorism comes to mind when describing Barbara. That is the belief that we can contribute to positive change and improve the world through acts of compassion, creativity, and kindness. Barbara demonstrated her compassion, creativity, and kindness professionally in her pursuit of opportunities to help and grow the lives and professional abilities of those that our work with FNF brought her in contact with. The length and breadth of her vision for FNF Zimbabwe continues to fill me with awe, from the young people across Matabele land who've grown from debaters, debating liberal issues and debating societies, to young entrepreneurs, to the forceful legal, journalistic, and business minds that she has fostered, encouraged, and given training opportunities to the many women who have been trained, encouraged, and promoted via the Women Mentorship Program, just to name a handful. On a personal level, Barbara had an innate and acute understanding of our human frailties and strengths. While she had very little patience with a bombast or insincerity, she could be relied upon to give unwavering love, support, and guidance to her colleagues and friends, both professionally and personally. We knew with absolute certainty that Barbara had our backs. Her compassion was ever present, a word of encouragement, a query about a difficult personal situation, a warm and sensible suggestion regarding the way through a trying issue, a helping hand, all the time bringing her phenomenal intelligence to every situation in a quick and solution-based way. Her kindness, compassion, and generosity were quiet and not publicly paraded. Barbara fought hard throughout the last year, with courage, humor, and grit. The world is a poorer place without you, Barbara, and it has been a great privilege getting to know and work with you.
My name is Rejoice Said. I came to know Barbara for a long time. I think it was 1992, if I'm not mistaken. Wow. Yeah, but she joined, I was already at the foundation. Yeah. So Barbara, she was my boss for that time, and today we mourn her trusted friend, mother, and mentor. Barbara was a caring person who would you share family issues. You know, with Barbara, if she was here in Harare, you could go in the office and discuss some issues like family issues with her. So to me and my family, she was just a sister or mother or gogo sometimes. So with that, I would say, Barbara, go well. We are going to miss her, especially for this Harare office. So let me step down. I cannot stand for a long time because I can feel my chest is trying to burst. So I'll say thank you.
Rejoice. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I came here as a... Now I wasn't a teenager. I was in my early 20s, and now I'm almost 50. So yeah. We gather here today to honor the life and memory of our beloved colleague, Barbara. And today I thought I would share with you a glimpse of the passionate side of Barbara that resonated with all of us who had the privilege of knowing her. Barbara was kind. Her kindness and generosity were not just traits. They were fundamental aspects of who she was. She deeply cared about each and every one of us, taking the time to inquire about the well-being, our families, and even our children. Her genuine interest and personal touch made her a true friend and a confidant to all of us in the office. In my last conversations with Barbara, she shared with me a piece of heartfelt advice that has stayed with me. She spoke of the challenges and joys of motherhood, reminding me that the challenges I was facing were not just peculiar to me. It was a stage where I had to embrace fully for the sake of my daughter. Her words of wisdom reflected a nurturing spirit and unwavering support, for me especially. Personally, I always looked forward to her visits. Prior to every visit, she would drop me a message asking if I needed anything. Barbara would literally carry an extra-sized suitcase, you know, those, the last number. She would carry one even when she was coming for a day, flying in the morning and out in the evening. That suitcase would be full of our orders. She wouldn't mind going for shopping with us. She didn't mind us checking out stuff to her address, whatever it was, she would bring it. I won't mention the chocolates and the sweet treats that she would always bring along. I have a sweet tooth, and that is what I will miss most. Barbara's presence in our workplace will be deeply missed. Her legacy of kindness, compassion, and wisdom will continue to inspire us. I attribute some of my professional traits to Barbara because she led by example. I am the meticulous person that I am today because of Barbara. I am the tolerant person that I am today because of Barbara. My tears are not of sorrow, but they are tears of gratitude for having known such a remarkable individual. So I say, rest in peace, Barbara. You have left an indelible mark in our lives. Your light will continue to shine through all of us who were touched by your grace and warmth.
My name is Rosa Jadinya. I would with the Barbara for many years. She was like a sister to me. Barbara is never want to see her as our leader, but also but as a Kamban worker, she was a killing, honest, lovely partner, humble and fun. I would a lot of problem in my life, and Barbara would see to it that I go. I will miss you, giggly and fun moment. Barbara, go well. Say thank you.
Good afternoon, dear friends, dear colleagues. It is with great sadness that I stand here today to pay tribute to Barbara. Just the thought that I'll never get to see her again, confide in her or hug her, fills me with tremendous pain and sorrow. Some of you may ask how such a relationship was possible. Barbara was more than a boss. She was more than a mentor or a colleague. She was an epitome of what it means to be human, to love unconditionally and without pretense or deception. I worked with her for more than 10 years, and she remained an enigma. Her big heart never tired of being big. I would observe this in our interactions with friends, partners, and colleagues. She had a special and unique relationship with each and one of us here. Yes, she had a no-nonsense approach to work and would at times appear intimidating, but this was a veil to hide the love and compassion she held for humanity. She supported our partners wholeheartedly and understood partnership as going beyond financial support to more of relationship building and growth. She always sought to listen, learn, find solution, and not condemn. I remember how she supported Tsitsi Dangarembwa during her prosecution and persecution just for protesting, as Julie Barnes indicated. She would attend every court proceeding and offer her support which many of us could not offer. Barbara understood work and leadership differently. For her, it was beyond mere talk. She walked the talk as well. She respected deadlines, but would not stress so much when these were not met. She would say, Fungi, go home. Get yourself an anesthetic. And an anesthetic for her was a glass of wine. She'll say, we'll deal with this tomorrow. We do not run a cardiac unit here, and no one is going to die because we have not submitted our report. She also held family dear and always emphasized the importance of family and how it should be prioritized over work. I remember one day one of my boys was not well, and I had come to the office, and she said, Fungi, your boy needs you more than FNF right now. Go home and kegel him. She would say, if you were to die today, your boys would have lost their world. As for FNF, within a short while, a replacement would have been found. She always indeed kept an eye on what mattered most. Yes, I will remember Barbara as my boss, but I remember her more for being a part of my family. Her love for me and my family is unparalleled and indelible. My family held Barbara in high regard and awe. We have indeed lost family in her. We will not forget how she opened her home to us for our comfort and joy during school holidays in Johannesburg. She cared for us genuinely and wished the best for us, and for this we are forever indebted. Barbara's genuine love for humanity, beyond color, is a hallmark of what the world strives to achieve without success. Yet with Barbara, it flowed with ease. May she rest in peace, and may Barry, her partner, Joseph and Sammy, her 2 sons, be comforted during this time. I could go on and on, but I'll keep the rest locked in my heart. However, it would be a grave injustice for me to end my memories of Barbara without sharing with you some of the terms and phrases Barbara loved saying. Barbara had a strong imagination, witty expression, and deep sense of humor. Barbara always emphasized attention to detail in program planning. Nothing would be left to chance, she would say. She would sum this aptly and say, assumption is the mother of all fuck-ups. Barbara was approachable, especially if you had a problem. She would listen attentively and then say, doll, do you need sympathy or a solution? If it's sympathy, I'm sorry, I don't have it. She always got frustrated by people majoring on the irrelevant. She would describe this as circumcising mosquitoes. She always marveled at people, especially voters, who failed to relate their life to the decisions they made. She would say they suffer from cognitive dissonance. She detested PowerPoint presentations with too much text, and she would refer to such presentations as death by PowerPoint. Barbara could be suspicious of certain job promotions, especially if she felt the person was not competent to assume a certain high-level position. To her, it was promotion to the highest level of incompetence. She keenly listened to speeches, and whenever someone struggled with clarity of ideas or decisions, to her, they were verbal processors. She always worried so much of people that spoke highly of themselves, yet never produced results. This, Barbara concluded it to be a winning combination of confidence and incompetence. She would sometimes describe our situation here as a shit show on wheels, and will say, just wait to see the chaos when the shit hits the fan. She also emphasized humility and would say, you do not always need to be a shining star. Allow others to shine as well. Whenever we had events and had visitors, maybe from Germany, from Johannesburg, I would remember asking her quite often, as the director of FNF in Zimbabwe, to speak. And she would say there was no need for her to speak. let those whose egos need to be stroked do so. In all our work, she never gave up on the vision. She never gave up on people. She would say, with Zimbabwe, don't think you have reached the rock bottom. There is always another rock bottom coming your way. So aluta continua. Even when she was going through her cancer treatment, aluta continua was her byline in all messages she sent to me. Barbara was my true north, and I'll forever cherish the great times we shared together. May she rest in eternal peace and remember aluta continua.
I think in politics they say all protocol observed. So I shall say that too, all protocol observed. Indeed, we have gathered here today to honor the memory of a remarkable individual, Barbara, a dedicated champion of democracy, freedom, justice, and the welfare of humanity, as we have all heard this afternoon. I listened through all the speeches here. They all give a picture of a highly impactful woman from whom we all learned something of value. That was Barbara. Indeed, she was a guiding light for the foundation that she so passionately served for a whole 30 years. It's a whole lifetime. They always say in culture, wafawanaka, meaning there's no blemish on the. Why sometimes they get very good words, accolades, and all that. But for Barbara, this is very real. This is very genuine. This is no flatter. You can't flatter the dead. People are speaking from their hearts about who she really was, and we do appreciate that. Some of us remember her warmth, kindness, and inherent goodness to humanity. We first met her at our training camp as mentors under the We Mentorship program at Valentine Park. She immediately struck me as a soft, warm, very kind person who allowed us to be. At the workshop, she shared a professional and personal story, deep into her personal life. I said, she's just met us for the first time and she's talking like this. And that was Barbara. She always felt at home and made people feel at home in her presence. And in that process, she imparted in us the freedom to express ourselves without fear of being judged. It set the tone. Is it me? It set the tone for our two-day deliberations. So let us honor her memory by carrying forward the value she held strongly. At this juncture, I'd like to thank the German Embassy, as represented here, partners of the foundation, friends and colleagues of Barbara, and the foundation itself that made this event possible. We are also thankful to all that spared a moment to celebrate the life of a giant we are gathered here for this afternoon. This is the least we could do for such an amazing woman who impacted the world in the manner that she did. It behoves us to ask ourselves that of all the baton sticks that she has laid before us in her death, which one are we as individuals and collectively going to pick up and let her legacy live forever? Is it about the gender equality? Is it the children's rights? Is it the justice? Is it her character that made you feel at ease all the time? What is it that each and every one of us, before we leave here, will say, I'm going to pick this one and carry it forward? This is the least we can do in our honor of Barbara. Let us continue the work she started 30 years ago, inspired by her unwavering commitment to making the world a better place. Before I leave this place, I just want to share one verse, John 14, verse 1. Just as we try to comfort ourselves, it is tough, it is difficult. And Fungi, I can understand you, I can hear you. But The Lord Jesus said, "Let not your heart be troubled. In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. I'll come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also." So this comforts us that one day we'll meet Barbara. I don't know in what form, but we will surely meet her. And I hope we'll laugh again. Rest easy, Barbara. I thank you.
It's been a long day without you, my friend.